Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Astrazerg from YGG Gaming. Today we have a ZVZ in store. So in the top left corner we have barcode. I'm not sure, whatever. And in the bottom right we have myself, Astrazerg. So this basically is going to be teach you kind of how to counter the Ling, Bane, Muta side of ZVZ. There's a lot of ways you can go in Zerg. You have Ling, Bane, Muta, Ling, Bane into Roach, Roach Ravager, and Hydra. Roach Ravager, there's like 5 or 6 different combinations. People do all of them. It's crazy. It's annoying. That's why he said he hated Ling, Bane, or he hates ZVZs because it's about Ling, Bane, or Bane control. I say not for me because I started out playing ZVZ with Ling, Bane, back and forth Ling, Bane, and that's what I'm saying here. It never go now in Season 3 of Starcraft. It doesn't go to Ling, Bane in the beginning. So he's thinking I'm talking about cheesing. No, they will literally go Ling, Bane into Spire, 2 base, done. So that's kind of it. Just I don't like that factor. And here I'm saying they do weird stuff because I don't want to say they do mutas because he obviously might go Muta, which he ends up doing. But yeah, it's just a thing that I don't like. Sometimes you'll have, I've said in the previous videos, sometimes they won't even get this second base. They'll just go straight into Lings and Banes and counter you right there. So it's something I'm trying to work on right now myself, figuring out how to scout. I know how to counter it early enough. And also another thing about ZVZs is usually the person with better economy is going to be the winner. So say I have 3 bases and they have a 4th and it's fully saturated, they're going to be able to get more larvae, more minerals, more gas over me. So if I lose my army, it's pretty much over. Okay, so as you can see here, there's a drone scout in my base. I scouted his base. I can see he's got some Zerglings coming. He's not. We're basically both macroing. He's sending some Zerglings to scout, and now he's just now got his queen out. So he's starting to send 2 sets of Lings, which I can see. So I'm thinking, okay, he's probably going to start harassing me with them. Because of this. And so here you have the Roach Warren. So this is like a really early Roach Warren. 3 minutes in is pretty early Roach Warren. So that either means a 2-base Roach all in, or just not entirely sure. But so I have a Baneling nest here. I don't see this Roach Warren. So Banelings versus Roaches, you need a lot more Banelings to counter Roach. Like, you need a lot of Banelings to be able to actually counter Roaches, so it's not the ideal counter. Technically, Roaches are the counter to Roaches. And so I have a good amount of Lings. He's just macroing up. I'm macroing up. But you can see this Baneling nest is going to finish. I have a Creep Queen, and he's just going back and forth with these Lings. I want to point this out to you right here. So when you see 2 evolution chambers, if you're playing ranked or unranked or anything, and you see evolution chambers here, or walling off any base, and you have spine crawlers behind them, transition into either you have to transition into Hydralisk as fast as you can, or go as fast as you can into Spire, because this probably means he's going to be going into Muta. Sometimes they'll go into like a lot of Roaches, but get the Hydralisk Den anyway, because eventually they're going to get Mutas with that build. So I go into Scout here, and I'm going to actually see that. But yeah, so it's really important that you scout that, because otherwise you're going to be left in the dust and you're going to probably lose. So here a 3rd base is going for me. Layers now going. Hydra Dens do build a lot faster than Spires, though, so that is a plus side, and you can get Hydras out faster. A few Banelings contact with this Spine Crawler, not killing it, but still doing some damage. It's still pretty even. The only thing is, and now this Roach Warren's going down, Um, but if you're in this situation and you're in my side of the situation, then the best thing to do is, as soon as this layer goes down, you just need to save up and make sure you're not supply blocked like I am now pretty much. Build the Hydra Den right away, and then just start pumping out Hydras. Because what happens is, and there's this fire right there. So what'll happen is they'll most likely get Banelings, and Banelings versus Hydras, they just wreck them. Even Lings too. So you want to make sure you split your Hydralisks if you're going to do that, and have either Lings and Banelings in front, or Banelings and Roaches. You have to have something in front of Hydralisks. You cannot just have Hydralisks. That's not going to go well. So you can see here, Hydralisk Den is just now finishing. The Spire's almost done. And here, he's saving up to build a whole bunch of Mutas. So just make sure you are alert and you know that he has a Spire. Scouting is a really big issue. As soon as that layer goes down, you need to scout the base to see if they have their Spire going or if it's already made. That's the best way to counter it. And now is when you really need to start pumping out Hydralisks once you see that. Otherwise, you're safe with going Roaches. So you can see here just a pile of Zerglings waiting. The one thing I want to point out though is there is no Baneling nest. So this is going to be better off for myself because I have Banelings and I will destroy these Zerglings. I do get the scout on the Spire a little late though, considering I'm not really pumping out Hydralisks at this moment, and here come 10 Mutas. So if you're on this side of it and you have Mutalisks, the best thing to do is to harass the bases themselves, like the drone. Slow down take out the overlords like this. Just slow down the Hydra production. I mean, one of the other things you can do, if you can take out the Hydra Den, if you take out the Hydra Den, you can't make Hydralisks for a little while. So you can see here, the one thing about Mutas though is they have like a really good speed, so you can just go up and down the cliff and making them run or split their army, which is gonna impair them. So you can see here just a massive amount of Zerglings. But without Banelings, this isn't going to do much, because I can just make a lot of Banelings and be fine. So you can see all these Hydras, but the best thing to do, like this is 14 Hydras versus 8 Mutas. Yeah, that's a pretty good amount, but 7 more are coming. So you need to make sure you have a lot of Hydras, and then once you have a lot of Hydras, you can go into Roaches, because Roaches will provide like pretty much all of the protection against Mutas or Banelings that you need. I'm still ahead of him though, so this base I don't necessarily have to saturate. This base I'm already 4 drones ahead of him, and I don't know that though, so that's the problem. But I am technically ahead of him on economy, and you can see here his Mutas are coming in, but I'm going to attack, and this is going to be interesting. So I scout. I'm like, okay, he's just now getting 3rd. And he does not cancel it, so he has a lot of minerals because he's been making only Mutas, so this is not very good for him. These lanes just were not, that's not a good idea to have them there, but with these Banelings, they will contact maybe the splits, needs to back up, and there it is. So you can see it's going to be, the Mutas are going to shred through these Hydras, but also going to be taking a lot of damage. Only has 8 left. More Hydras are on the way. That was a lot of Lings. So that was actually a really good battle trade for myself. And this is where you see why Banelings are so important. Because if he had some, and there's the Baneling nest, but if he had the Banelings, that would have gone completely differently. I probably would have lost, and that would have been game. So the 3rd base is trying to go back again. I have a lot of drones going for saturation. Trying to do a little bit of micro with these Hydralisks. As you can see, I don't have much other for shield, so I just come up here, try to wall off as much Zergling as I can, and then Mutas are getting taken out. Only 6 Mutas left, a good amount of Hydras. So this is what you need to do. Just make sure you have a lot of Lings in the front and some Banelings, a lot of Hydras in the back. Since it's been back and forth battling, of course, then the macro is not good for either sides necessarily, but you need to make sure you keep pumping out Hydras. If for some reason he never attacked me and just waited till he had like 200 and I have like, just for instance, then I could probably have roaches as well with army. This is going to be a really good pick-off, almost supply blocking him, diminishing the amount of troops he can make, just now making banelings and some roaches. These banelings are going to destroy, and these hydralisks are just going to plow through. Now, this amount of banelings, watch the splits. You really want to make sure you split your units, because that right there saved me from losing. If I had clumped up all my hydras, I would have been dead. So splitting is very important with hydras. All you have to do is take some there, and it's not as complicated as you might think. It's not impossible. I'd say Terran splitting is probably harder against Ling Bane because there's going to be a lot more banelings, a lot more zerglings. It's going to be just a lot more pressure, and you might mess up. So hydralisk splitting is a little easier. It's pretty fun too, and now you can see this many banelings, 16 banelings coming in. 1-1 just now coming in. You can't really aggress in here because of the amount of banelings and the spine crawlers that are fortressing. But now watch again, and you're gonna see. Just gotta move the units away. Not the best splitting, but still didn't lose everything. Still, it could have gone a lot better. That was actually really bad splitting, but just make sure you try to split your units as much as you can. Because then you'll be able to secure your safety. Still not a third here. I have a third. So this is where I was saying, basically, if you don't have, I had to check for a hidden third, but if you don't have the higher economy, you will most likely lose. So now I can see he's not making Mutalisks. So I just start pumping out some roaches, which is have a little more health, and getting some more Lings and Banelings to hopefully, and these here. So I'm trying to back up, regroup my forces, but you really just want to be careful and not overextend and lose your army. The best thing, so you can see here, 6 more mutas coming out, but the money is really, I'm not entirely sure what's happening. I think he just doesn't have enough bases to support. He's got plenty of minerals and gas. I'm starting to build up again. Mutas are not a good option anymore because 6 mutas aren't going to do anything. So you can see here, I see the banelings, the roaches just take all the damage, and I'm like, okay, it's time to go in now. I can see he has some mutas, but it's like, no, I got hydras. What are you doing? So the best thing to do if you're in his position, I mean, really just get banelings. If you're going to do Ling Bane Muta, do Ling Bane Muta. It frustrates me so much. I can't stand it. It's so annoying, but if that's how you want to do it, make sure you have banelings, because they're going to get hydras. If for some reason they decide to do hydras and roaches, the banelings, you need to move them back until the roaches are taken out, and then flood the hydralisks. Maybe even get the hydralisks from a few angles. Here you can see sort of splitting, but this is game. You can see the GG there, GG, and that is victory. This is a weaker example of Ling Bane counter, but in general, just make sure you have hydras. That's the best way to go, getting the 4th. Yes, so this is AstroZerg from YGG Gaming. Like, comment, subscribe if you liked this video, and I will see you guys next time.